is up, Wayland Master Agency Nation? Miranda Martin here. I'm Direct to Symmetry by way of Ryan Miller, Puckett, and Marshall himself. I am super excited for this call today. I've been with Symmetry now in August. Guess what? It'll be my 10th year. It's a decade, but it feels like way shorter because I love what I do so much. And this person that we're about to bring on, she actually came over here. We used to work together in our last life. I ran a call center, right? I don't even think I had kids yet. We knew each other, Amy. And I was the call center manager, and she worked in the customer service department. And I basically worked in a call center almost my whole life doing marketing and stuff like that. But once I started doing this business, I started posting on social media. And I was like, hey, I love what I do. I'm reading these books. I might win this trip. And I just kept posting. And we used to work together, 5 years, whatever before. And she one day messages me and goes, I have no idea what you're doing, but I want to do it. I was like, sweet, right? And so I was like, girl, what you got to do is you got to come to conference. And you're like, but I don't have my license. And I was like, I don't care. Everyone that joins the team goes. So she hopped on the plane, came to conference, and this person has been one of the most coachable, consistent, hardworking people on the team. And one of the things that I love about Amy is that every time we talk, she just goes and executes. She doesn't really ask a ton of questions. She just spends the next bit of time just working the plan, making a plan, and working the plan. And in the last year, there has been some really, really, really explosive growth going on. I was looking at the numbers. January of 2024 through April of 2026, her team did $88,000. Right. Back then, Amy, actually, I think it was almost like you were like, oh my gosh, I need to save the agency. Some stuff happened where some business partners were here, then they weren't here. And it was just a really stressful time, I would say, to say the least. And then I was looking at the numbers from the same time frame, but in 2025, and your team now has done $280,000 of business compared to 88,000 the same time next year. That's growth, $191,000 of growth, 215% growth year over year. I could not be more proud of you, Amy, and the team that you're building and the woman that you're becoming. I was telling Ryan, I'm like, you're not even going to recognize Amy on this call because like you're a 2.0 or 3.0 version of you. And I'm excited. I got to hear you guys prep, man, and you don't need me. I'm going to be here, but I'm just going to be like sitting here because I know that your team, you guys are going to be at the top of the company within a year. So I'm going to pass it over to you, my girl, and just let you guys roll with it. So,
Well, thank you so much, Miranda, and just so blessed, so honored. Thank you for, inviting us to be part of sharing with Wayland Nation. Like, this is a huge honor. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry again. Anyone who knows me, like, that part's never gonna change. I get up here and then all of a sudden the emotions just start flooding. So I'm gonna try really hard to keep it together. But I'm so honored, so blessed to be here with all of you. And yes, Amy Falvey, direct to the amazing Miranda Martin and the Ryan Miller Puckett Wayland Nation organization, and so blessed to be here. And my journey began 6 years ago. My anniversary is a few days away. So 6-year anniversary is on the horizon. I actually got licensed April 22nd of 2019, a few days right before that national conference, which yes, Miranda's like, you need to come. I'm like, okay. She's the #1 rookie her female year. How, female agent in her rookie year, how can you say no to what Miranda asked you to do? If I wanted to win, I had to do what winners do. And so, of course, she's an amazing coach and so blessed to be on her team. I know it before we get started, we do have some slides. I don't want to forget the slides, and then we'll kind of jump in. So give me 1 sec to slide. All right. I hope that's sharing.
Yeah, I can help with this. Christina Watts, you go girl with number one, but right on your tails, we had Dave Brown and Trevor Williams on your heels. Agency director, we had Joe Tamu. I can never pronounce your last name. I love you though, dude. We just need some more letters in there so they can pronounce it properly. I love you, dude. Gabby and Fred tied, but so Christy was in third, really, and Ann and Larry in the top. And then we had Jamie and Corey in third, Sarah and Jared in second, and Jacob with 67. Holy cow, recruits last in that whole week. And then recruiting agents, we had Lauren, Latoya, Christy, Kristen, James, Jennifer, Doug Door, and then number three, Alyssa. Well, actually, there's a three-way tie. Robert with 4 and Crystal with 6. And Marshall's team, Amy, check this out, in a week did $1.2 million. I'll take that in a month, but he's doing it in a week. And what's crazy is when I showed up here, I might be getting my numbers wrong, but his business, like I think he just hit the top of the company back like 10 years ago, 9.5 years ago when I started. So it's crazy what can happen. You can just hit the top and then be doing this in a week. It's nuts. Okay. So May, we've got a boot camp coming up with Ian Graham, Devon Clark, and Karen Reed in Grand Rapids on the 16th. We've got the Advanced Market Boot Camp end of May, Pittsburgh with Ian again. And the 30th, we've got a Dallas one. This one I think just got posted a couple days ago, guys. If you're in the Dallas area, we've got Mike Matthews, Nate Offord, Marty, and Danielle, and Josh Hershey on May 30th. And then Houston is on the 13th. So a lot of really good stuff. I say get to a boot camp, get in front of people at least every 90 days, if not monthly, if you can. And that is what we've got, guys, for the slides. I'm going to hand it back to you, girl. One of my skills is not Google Slides, so thank you for the assist there, Amy. I know my strength. I know my weaknesses.
Happy to help. Happy to help. So again, my name's Amy Falvey, and I have two of my amazing team leaders, rising stars, future achievers. I want to give them every title because they deserve them. And so today you're going to not only be hearing a little bit about me and my personal journey, but you're going to be getting to meet some of my amazing rock stars. Christopher Scott and Carly Kelso are joining me today. So super excited to be on this call with y'all. As I shared, I came here 6 years ago and knew nothing about insurance. And yes, Miranda was posting on Facebook. We had worked together previously back in the days of Direct Buy. And for 7 years prior to coming here, I was managing at a golf and country club. I did not wake up one day thinking I wanted to sell life insurance. Like I said, back then, nobody really posted on social media what they were doing. They just were posting that they were living their best life. And I was like, that's what I want. And so again, I messaged her and said, hey, what are you doing? And here we are 6 years later. And now it's this year for me has been a mission to my top 130 contract, and just so excited that I have the right people by my side doing this with me. And so really, again, a lot, we named this the catalyst of change. Like when that, like the moment hit, like there's always that point in your life where suddenly it's like, something's got to change. And what is that going to be? How are we going to get there? And so we each have our own story, and it's totally different. And so, but at the same time, this catalyst really happened last year in July. Things were leading up to it a bit before that for me.
Let me pause on this because this is important. Because I think there's 268 people on the call, right? And I think there's a lot of people on this line that are going, how do I get that breakthrough? Right? How do I get to that next level? Or, maybe they're at a spot right now that they're not happy with, but they don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to get that momentum either on the production side or on the agency building side. And for Amy, for your team to have the growth that we have, one of the things I love about this call, what's coming is it's not just for the builder it's for everybody. Right? It's on how to have that breakthrough on change. I just wanted to underline that because I think that a lot of people are looking for that magic bullet or that thing that they could do or that one thing that they're missing. And you guys are going to give a lot of usable tips, right? So I'm going to pass it back to you, but yes, keep going.
Yeah. So So back in July was when Christopher Scott came on board, and there's a big reason why there's that part of the change. But prior to that, we had leadership back in April, and I've been building since day one. Just let me backtrack all the way to the beginning. So day one, I watched an overview and I saw about an agency and I said, that's what I want. I knew I wanted to build, and I was producing and building simultaneously straight out the gate. That was my mission, to do both. And so I'm proudly to say I made it to agency owner in 18 months. And, from that point forward, I just kept going with that momentum that I needed to keep building a team with my production. And so over the years, for me, it's all been cold market. Let me just backtrack to that. Like, some people come in here and they have a lot of warm market. I had a small network of people. And so my warm market was not really an option for me for production or building. So this whole business has come from buying leads and spending on recruiting. So I was lucky enough that Miranda had that co-op going from the time I started here, and I joined what we call a co-op, and I got straight into building. And of course, over the years, we've all probably, if you've been around for a while, had bumps in the road on what was working, what wasn't working, but you can't ever take your foot off the gas. You have to pivot. You have to find the other ways to keep it going. You can't have all your eggs in one basket. So you have to be able to have a lot of different things going on so that you keep that momentum. But there were times where things stalled and they were difficult, and we had to keep trying other things. And some things worked and some things didn't. But I still never stopped figuring out what else could I do to make it happen. Another part of that was always investing more. So it was really last year, the beginning of last year, January, when Miranda found another alternative. And I'm going to put it out there. I'm an auto mentor, candidate here. So with that, we got started straight away trying auto mentor and learning how auto mentor worked and how to make it work for its best. And I was in a co-op with that. The big catalyst came for Carly and I and Carly will get to share her story, but it all happened poolside at Marshall Wayland's house. Thank you so much, Marshall Wayland, for having that amazing home and opening your doors to all of us. And so that was when it was like, if we were going to do this, we got to do this bigger and we got to go out on our own. So this was my first opportunity to really say I was ready, with Carly's encouragement and pushing, to say we can do this, that I had to leave a co-op and move and be the big girl that I could be and go off, with Carly and do this on our own. And I couldn't be here today if it wasn't for that. I have Carly, my number one. A lot of people are here doing this business with a partner. Even though we're across the world from each other, she is my partner. From day one, everybody who comes on my team, I always say, I'm not, you don't work for me, you work with me. We're in business together. We're business partners. But Carly's a business partner in a whole other realm of business partner. And so blessed that I have her. And so here we go again. All that being said, when we were there at Marshall's, it was that decision that we had to do something more. We had to go bigger. So I was playing in the kiddie pool, I guess you would say.
And I want to just underline this because not everyone's been to Marshall's house, right? But one of the things that happens when we get up there is you have a chance to talk to him, right? And he gives you some tips and mentorship about your business. And usually it comes down to recruiting spend or resources in either production or building. And he's like, if you want to be in the game, it's $500 a month for sure. If you want to be serious, you're got to be around $1,000, right? So Amy and Carly said, well, and I've always been like, we're doubling, right? Like if you want to win big, you double like every 60 to 90 days. So that's what you guys did. So you left Marshall's and said, we're going to double what we've been doing and we're going to do it together. So they got out of my co-op that I was doing with my base shop and them, and then went and did their own. And that's when things really started to heat up, right? And so number one is win a trip. Number two, double your stuff, right? And sometimes that happens because you add unique builders, but sometimes you just got to dig in your own pockets and make it happen. Right. I remember that's kind of how I started my business was, I didn't mind funding the co-op a little bit more than if people were producing at a high level because that was helping me pay for it. Right. But if production wasn't there, you don't have money to reinvest if it's the production's not there. So that's another story. But I wanted to underline that because that is a part that a lot of people are too scared to do. They keep doing what they're doing. They keep getting, and so they're not even staying the same. If you're not going up with your resources, you're actually going backwards in this business. So there you go. So that's kind of what happened. And I think Christopher popped out of that, didn't he? That decision. You were born out of that decision, my friend. That's what happened.
Yeah, so it started like you were saying. It was about the doubling and so I doubled 3 times in the matter of 6 months. So this was going from a moderate small $500 in your co-op to after at leadership in the airport saying, is there room for more? I need more, and went from the 500 to 1,000, and that was, I guess, April. But it wasn't long after that when we were at Marshall's in June. So very short time after that, literally again, doubled again, brought the spend up and on our own in Auto Mentor to $2,000 a month. At the time, it was Carly and myself and only one other downline in my team who was investing. So I was taking on the lion's share of that, but because Carly was willing to increase her spend, I said, I can do this and I want to do this. She'll tell you she pushed me a lot harder than that. So that it wasn't that easy, like, oh yeah, let's do this. It was like, yes, Amy, we're doing this. And so, of course, so again, glad that we made that decision that we could and that we should. And again, this is where everything really started to change. It did take some momentum. It was not an overnight thing. As we all know, building is not overnight. But right now, here we are in April, and really since January to April is we're really seeing and reaping the rewards of our efforts. So just to give a few stats, I mean, just this month alone, we have 29 enrolled in school right now. We've had 10 ready to write, 9 new writers so far for this month. It's been an absolute honor to be seeing the Falvey Agency on national leaderboards, which this is a first. So it's great to be seeing that happen. But again, I always say it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. Like, I'm not doing this. The Falvey Agency, the team is doing this, and I'm not in this alone. The growth again has been tremendous. Seeing record months in production, record numbers in writers, and it's just so excited for what's to come through the rest of this year. I do want to introduce Christopher Scott, who is again part of what happened in July of 2024. Christopher came on the scene, and of course that was a big change to our agency. Christopher is a ray of sunshine. He is a ball of energy. He is just, again, we talk about people who are the fired up award winners. Like, he's the fired up award winner of our team. Like, he just brings so much, and he like, if I'm going to give like an analogies, he was the defibrillators. Okay. He resuscitated this team. Okay. So it's just been such a pleasure getting to know him as a human, getting to call him a business partner, and, to give
Christopher, what did you do last week in production?
17,000.
Okay, so record week, and then what did you do last month?
Oh my gosh, what was it? I'm so bad with numbers because I just go. What was it? 34,000?
I think it was 38, yeah.
Yeah.
So record month for him, record week, not a bad way to show up on your first Wayland call. So I just want to say that. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. And above and beyond that record week and record month, just to share, he's submitted since July of 2024, and it was the very end of July. Like, the first app was July for himself. Okay, let's just say that. But he's done 158 applications for 210,000 of APV, and this is just again since July of 2024. So I'm just so excited for the journey that he is on and that I get to be a part of that. And so, of course, I'm going to turn it over you to Christopher to just share a little bit more about yourself and your journey.
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. I'm Christopher Scott. I'm direct to Amy Falvey and Miranda Martin, and I have been here for 9 months. This business absolutely changed my life. Just a little backstory about me. I was a professional classically trained musician. My wife is a composer, and it was time for a change. I was on my third back surgery. I needed a job from home. No prior sales experience, but I was very fired up. I wanted to find a business where I could grow based off of it, like what I was putting into it, because that's like truly a blessing for me. And I knew my family deserved that. So I found Amy in July, and I've had a lot of mentors in my life, and this person, I could safely pour every ounce of belief that I have into this person, and she was going to pour it back into me, and it was like from the beginning. And yeah, I'm very humbled to be here. I don't even I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited. My thing is just personal growth and learning as much as I can, and actually following their lead, Carly and Amy's lead. I trust that what they're doing is in my best interest, because it has been. It's been incredible for me, and each month I'm breaking, and gosh, I hate talking about my numbers because I don't even like to look at it, I promise. But each month I'm actually breaking my own record, and I just want to it. I just
So
want to keep getting
Christopher, but
better.
here's the thing. You are, but what's your main focus every day? Because your main focus is not the
Yeah.
leaderboard. And that's just a byproduct of the work that you're doing outside of that. So what does that look like? Like what is it like when you wake up in the morning or when you set your intentions for the week, what is your focus on that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely breaking down what's been done and correcting it. It's massive action, constant correction. And what I'm doing is I'm waking up. Miranda led the charge in our bay shop with a book, The Miracle Morning. And big shout out to you, because since then, when I read a self-development book, I'm looking for the action, because I'm looking for the impact. I'm also looking to learn. Sure, that's fine. But Miranda was leading the way, and I've been starting my mornings consistently starting with personal development, but also reflecting on my business. My silence time being, what am I going to do today? I'm going to put up my goals. I'm going to, write affirmations and have the names of the people that my business is impacting on my whiteboard. And so I start there, but my schedule is really tight. The 4 keys and 4 cornerstones are really tight. And when they aren't, I can rely on Amy and Miranda to keep me within the parameters. And I love that. And so that's just a little bit, and you too, Carly, because whew, this is awesome. Yeah, but that's a little bit about me. And yeah, so.
Amy, how do you help with that mentorship? Because that's a big part of the synergy that you have and Christopher and part of being a good mentor is it's both. It's good mentorship and being a good mentee. I cannot talk. So can you talk about that relationship with you guys and how that goes on a daily basis?
So of course it's evolved over time, but I could, and Christopher came in here on fire. Like his first month, August, was 23,000. I saw this is a person who's serious about his business, and I knew that meant I need to be serious about helping this person to achieve his goals. So right from the start, we say if you're doing the work, your mentor is going to be there to support you. And so of course I saw all the effort that he was putting in, and I knew that I had to step up. I had to be like a leader to this person to help him achieve his goals. And so of course, as time has evolved, every single day in the morning, Christopher sends me his daily schedule. He uses an app that breaks it down every 30 minutes. And he says, is it all right if I just text it? Because this is like a new phone I got, and this is a great app I'm using. And I'm like, absolutely. But I know for every 30 minutes of every day, from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed, what he's doing. So
Right.
he's communicating that to me. We have a morning check-in and we have an evening check-in. We communicate every day. And of course, part of, again, talking about like a team culture, we work on Zoom together. So of course there's virtual offices, there's different breakout rooms, but the relationship begins and ends in every day because of the fact that he's a great mentee. He's a communicator. And that's really important. I'm big on communication. Like, I will give you all of me if I am like if you're giving me all of you, like it's a two-way street. And so of course it was funny too in the beginning. He's like, I did that 23,000 and I think I added up, I did about 20 or 25 hours a week. And he's like, what if I actually work like 30 or 40 hours a week? What's possible? I'm like, so of course, just from the start, he followed the system. Again, Miranda, you talk about saying like, I was coachable. Christopher is coachable. Christopher follows the system. He's getting a lot of people like reaching out to him through the whole master from the beginning. And it was like, even he says he's very humble. It was like, that was very unexpected. He's like, he's like, reaches out to me. All these people are like sending me messages and they all want to know what I'm doing. And so of course, Miranda, you had him host a call because it was like, he doesn't have time to answer 100 different people's question. And of course, the bottom line is, what is Christopher doing? Christopher's following the system. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. And of course, everyone thinks there's some magical secret sauce, like, oh, what leads are you buying? And, how are you doing all of this? But it's also because Christopher is such a genuine person that I know his clients can feel that. So when he's on the phone with them and setting those appointments, they know that they're working with someone that they can like and trust. And of course, that's important. But that all comes from within Christopher. But the mentorship is because he's an excellent mentee. And, we just immediately bonded and connected on so many levels.
What is the app you use, Christopher? People are asking.
Yeah, so let's talk about this app. Okay, so Google Calendar. I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. Excuse me, my desk is a mess. It's just a total mess. But so like the way I actually do it is I handwrite my schedule every week. And Amy, I have a template in my notes app that's already lined up, and I'm just taking the time because it's important to me. I'm taking the time to type out what I've already written down. I take Sunday to do this, and then I send it to her daily because there's usually schedule updates and things we have to pivot to and blah, blah, blah. So she deserves my daily calendar, and if we're business people, like I deserve to know exactly what's going on, the people my loved ones do. And so it's not really an app. I actually handwrite everything. Miranda, I know there's a book you just finished reading, The Power of Writing It Down, I think, or something. And that's the way that I do it.
So, okay. And who else do you send it to? So you're sending it to Amy. Who else do you send it to?
Oh my gosh, my business partners, my downlines, sidelines. Sometimes I think I've only sent it to you once, but I'm gonna get on it. But yeah, so my thing with the mentor-mentee relationship is you can know exactly what you're talking about and you can follow, you can, guide people, but you can also show people that you're serious about your business. And so my team has been showing up more recently when I decided to grow and send and show and lead by example, send them my daily schedule. And and we're so close because if we're sitting down at the same time, we're full time, we're in Zoom working, I can see them. And it's just becoming a very special thing. And so yeah.
Here's the thing, Kay, and this is out of my book and I refer to it a lot, is when you say a goal out loud to a person, there's a 65% chance you're actually going to do it because you've now made that public commitment. But if you have an ongoing accountability meeting, it goes up to a 95% chance of doing it, right? And what is the number one thing that most people struggle with here is being your own boss and holding yourself accountable. So what Christopher, you're doing is you're taking time to be a good business owner and evaluate your business. And then you're putting yourself kind of on Front Street and saying, this is what I'm doing. And what ends up happening is I'll show you mine, you show me yours with the schedule. But your team is going to, this is it. Your team is going to do what you do, not what you say. right? This is why I get back in the field every so often, right? Because what I do speaks louder than what I say sometimes, right? And I'm like, that's going to mean more than everything that I'm talking about. But they're going to do it. And then Casey said, people are going to do half of what you do too. Right. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, even if they do half, they're going to win. Right. And so like what you're doing is you're leading by example. And when you're posting everything or sending your schedule, everything that you're doing is you're doing it for you, but you're also doing it to be a good example for people. And that's why you're growing. And so it's helping with my master. It's helping with Amy's like team. And like, it ends up being like a chain reaction when we pour out like that.
Yeah.
Right. So that I just wanted to highlight that because it's important, right? And we've talked about this. You're like, there's some days that you're not at this bubbly golden version of yourself. You're human, right? There's days and times.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. And that's why the scheduling is so important, right, guys? Because I am no stranger to things happening, life happening. Like I'm a normal human being and I'm no stranger to it whatsoever. But me sitting down and making my schedule and then telling people about it, getting that 65% boost, thanks for that, Miranda, and teaching me that, like that gives me now the best shot of controlling what sometimes we deem as uncontrollable. It's the best way for me to serve myself and my clients and my growth because if you do what's important to you. And I'm super passionate about this stuff, guys, because in many ways this business has saved my life, like truly. I know Amy knows a little bit more about my story, but this yeah, it's so important to try to control the things that can just get in the way, guys. A building, production, doesn't matter what it is. And what's incredible is we have this amazing vessel called Symmetry, where they tell you how to create a schedule and do all these awesome things. So with that being said, just do what your mentor says and have some belief. So yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Miranda. And now I really have so much excitement getting to introduce you to, again, my number one, my best friend now in the world, Carly Kelso. And so Carly joined me back in July of 2020, right in the midst of a pandemic. We did not even get to meet for years. And we really didn't Zoom back right away. So I think maybe the first time we ever saw each other was when we met in Tennessee at the Wayland conference right after the pandemic. We might have had a couple of Zoom calls before that, but she came out to Tennessee, and that was, I think, really the first catalyst of change in our relationship, because that's when she showed me as well, like, hey, I'm here and I want to do this. And so, and that really gave us an opportunity to bond, being there together live and in person, and see where this agency was going to go. And so just in the last month since July, when we started working on our own, she's had 24 new writers, 29 unique writers over time. Right now, again, has 11 writers on her team. I can't wait to officially say we crossed over month one of agency owner. She's skipping key leader, guys. She's going straight to AO. And so I'm just super excited to be doing this business with you, Carly. So take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. It was really tough to follow Christopher. So now if I could go back, I think maybe I would change the order of things, but too late now. So thank you for that. So just to clarify, pronunciation of my name is Carly. So everyone always asks. And so I said, when I got good enough at this business, I'd be on, a big enough call that I could tell everyone how to pronounce my name. So that's the clarification. But do appreciate being here. I always feel very privileged to be part of the Miranda Martin Master, because it really is a privilege. It's a privilege to be part of the Falvey agency. Absolutely. I stumbled into Symmetry by way of, I lost my brother at the age of 37. And that was a tough time for my family. He passed away from melanoma cancer. And 2 years later, I lost my 20-year-old nephew, and really difficult time on the family. And of course, nobody had, they didn't have life insurance policies. Nobody thinks of that when you're 37, and nobody thinks of that at age 20. And during that journey, I was looking for life insurance coverage for my family because I thought, all right, we need to solve this problem because I'm a problem solver. That's what I do. And I stumbled across Symmetry when looking for life insurance. And I didn't pull the trigger the first time that I came across it. I don't know why, but the second time I came across it, I looked at it seriously. Now I was coming from a director of finance position making 6 figures. And so making that leap to go from a W-2 to a commission position was something I couldn't quite wrap my head around. But it made sense to me because I also had half my family living 10,000 miles away. And it was okay. I could work remote. I could spend time in another country and I could do this. I could do this. And it made really good sense for me. And so I made the leap to Symmetry. And about 3 months in, we got slapped with a really weird immigration requirement that said I couldn't work for myself. I couldn't work a 1099 position. And so I had to go back into a W-2 position, but I didn't want to give Symmetry up because I believed in Symmetry. I believed in what I saw as my future and my dream. And so I decided I could do anything for 5 years, right? Which was the time limit on my daughter's immigration. And so so I decided to do both. I decided to do Symmetry and I decided to do a full-time W-2. And so this entire time I've done both. And sometimes I haven't done it well, right? Because we fail forward, right? But I've done it the best that I could. And so in doing that, I focused most importantly on building, and I've never taken my foot off of the gas. So for me, I went to the Wayland conference in 2021, and I fell further in love with Symmetry. And I know in this business, when we're training, sometimes Miranda tells us that we don't say the word love, especially if we're talking on the phone with a client. But I can definitely say with Symmetry, I fell in love.
You're allowed on this call. This is not on an appointment.
Okay, good. So what I can say is, through my journey so far, a lot of things have happened in my journey. I've gone through a lot of hardships in this time since I've been with Symmetry. But one thing I know for sure is that Symmetry has never failed me, right? My marriage might have failed me. Some of my family might have let me down. I've had lots of things that have happened during my journey here, but Symmetry has never failed me. The Symmetry system has never failed me. The 4 keys to success, the 4 cornerstones, they've never failed me. And so as long as I focus on the systems that are in place, my strengths are in the Symmetry journey. And that's just really my core focus. And in 2022, I built a vision board after we read Miracle Morning. And on that vision board, I said I was going to the Marshall Wayland house, and I said I was drinking out of the beer tap. Now, maybe some of you envisioned the college picture of maybe, people holding me up on my feet. There weren't enough people at the Marshall Wayland house to hold me up, drinking out of the beer tap, but I did still drink out of the beer tap. And it was a dream come true last June. And part of what got me there was a reset that I did last April, which netted me almost $24,000 in my bank account, which was amazing, right? Because I've never, in all of the money I've ever made, even when I was making almost $175,000 a year, I still never netted $24,000 in my bank account. And so when I hit that on a reset, I was like, man, that's amazing. And I knew I needed to put all of that into my business. Then I earned my trip to the Wayland house. I didn't win my trip to the Wayland house. I earned my trip to the Wayland house. And that was on my vision board, right? Then we went to the Wayland house. And we're sitting in a hot tub and we're talking to Marshall, and Marshall's like, you need to double this and you need to do all of these things. And he's listing off like tangible things. And I'm a tangible person, right? And so it was double your spend on, double your investment on recruiting. And I'm looking at Amy, and Amy's like, we can do this. But then I also saw that thing, and Amy was like, but can we do this? Right. And so I knew for sure we had to do this because we couldn't afford not to invest, right? And so we can't lead our business with that scarcity mindset. We have to do this. And so it just became that thing where even though Amy knew we could do it, every time I saw that moment of doubt in her mind, I just doubled down. And even if it looked like she was doubting it, hand her a drink, something, right? Like I had to give her courage or liquid courage, whatever it was. I had to back her up. Okay. Because it was like, we are doing this. We're partners in life and we are moving forward. So that's kind of what was
I did
our
not know
catalyst.
that. You're like, let me hand her a drink
Yeah.
too.
Whatever it took, man, we were not leaving that Wayland house without that commitment that we were doing this. So yeah, whatever
Oh,
it was going
love
to
it.
take, we were doing it. Yep. So that's where I land. So yeah.
Oh, and okay, so Amy, I know you probably have a question. That was so good. This
I
is
know,
gone.
I was just gonna say, and I love the fact, and again, she emphasized she earned her spot there. I will say, like, those leaderboards were being shown every week, and Carly wasn't on them, but we knew what was going on behind the scenes because we knew it was an overall APV, and like that was happening. So of course it does, yes, we talk about being consistent. Do your 5K a week, 5K a week, but sometimes you come up with 20 plus K in a month all out of one app. So that was just amazing that, the timing worked out perfectly. And I was so happy for her that, she got to live that dream. I was even more happy that she took me as her +1 because then we got to be there together. But I will say I did pay it back because she got to come with me to Jamaica following that, which of course leads on to bigger and better things in the growth of this agency. So, but it's just, do the things, do the right things. She said it's the 4 keys to your successful week. The belief, your 4 cornerstones, the belief in what we do. And just so
one
excited.
thing that I want to underline too, and is Carly's commitment to you, Amy, as a business partner changed you and your business, because you were always committed, but you didn't always have that person like her that was going to be like, you're doing this, and like give you that nudge that she noticed, because you didn't feel like you had that. I know we were talking earlier that doubt, but Carly kind of said, I have to fill this cup up a little bit more, and like we are doing this, right? And I want everyone to take note of that, because who are you? Could you be linking arms with more in this business and being that person for them? Right? Maybe somebody in your circle is waiting for you to be what Carly's done for Amy and Amy's done for Carly. Right? And Christopher, bless his heart, he comes off of a record week and a record month and calls me up, and he's more worried about how can I get everyone else winning more. And we spent an hour on the phone on Sunday night worried about everyone else, because that's where his heart is. He's like, how can I keep giving back because of everything that has been given to me? And this business grows when our posture is in the right spot. If we're ever sitting here going, me, what about my appointments I'm booking? What about my money? What about my this? You're going to lose bad here. That is a recipe for freaking disaster. When you're here trying to help other people get what they want, like your mentor, your business partner, your agent, your upline, things will blow up bigger than you can ever imagine. Right? And here's the part that I know we've been talking about this on our team. Your business partners are counting on you. And maybe this connection, this catalyst of change, this unity is what's going to be what changes your life and somebody else's life, because you say, you know what, I'm going to quit selling myself short. I'm going to quit playing small. I'm ready to level up. Carly said, it's not that we have to do this. We have to do this. Right. And so this is such an important dynamic, right? Because we're in business for ourselves, not by ourselves. And it's a team sport. So let's talk about a little bit, Christopher, I know before you had a ton of questions. I loved that. So was there anything that you want to ask these guys on this stage? Because I know you had some great questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a little bit, thank you so much, Miranda. A little bit of background, right? I'm running with both Amy and Carly. I'm producing and building and doing everything that my mentors ask me to do. And so, but with that comes a lot of action and not a ton of, just sitting down and talking about this. And so I'm going to interview both Amy and Carly right now because I have a ton of questions, just like you guys. I am.
And
So
I want to underline that Christopher is basically on his AO run too. Like they're just all like,
I'm just, they say do it and I have faith and I just go. And so with that being said, like, the topic's catalyst of change, right? And so change is actually doing, right? It's coming up with a plan and doing, and you two found each other at Marshall Wayland's and came up with a plan. And like the question that I really have for both of you is what did you two see in each other to where you were able to entrust such a big growth opportunity to each other and say, hey, you're my running partner. Hey, I believe in you. And what's crazy, you've already answered a little bit, Carly, about how you mentioned, that you would see a little bit of doubt in Amy, but you knew that this person was your person to run with. And so how did you two, like find that common interest and do that?
I'll let you go first, Carly.
Wow. Okay. Well, I would say, for me, I'm a numbers person. I'm a pioneer. I just double down in everything. So when I look at, the four keys and the four cornerstones, I add a word to everything for me. So like when I look at belief in what you're selling, I put the word unyielding in front of that. When I look at, commitment of ongoing self-improvement, I put the word unrelenting. So I have an unrelenting commitment to that. When I look at schedule, it's uncompromising. But because I am so hard and so fast, sometimes I have to look at Amy as my balance because she's the nurturer, right? So sometimes she has to be the softer side of me, right? Because she brings in that kindness and she brings in that empathy. And so Amy has that heart that sometimes I forget to exercise. But the most important thing that I can say about Amy is trust, right? Trust is my leading forefront of what builds that what we have in our partnership. So with Amy, it's I trust her undoubtedly, right? And so I can run in this business. We have communication, right? If there's something that that we need to do or we want to do. When I first came into this business, I sort of came in with my brakes half on. And when we started really moving and growing is when I realized I could take the brakes off. And I realized that I could speak whatever I needed to say, or I could do, whatever, when I had the freedom to help a sideline, not just my downline, right? When I knew she had the same trust in me that I had in her. And that was really, really key. I could speak on that forever, but I think I'll pass it to Amy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Carly hit the part of that, she's the pioneer, I'm the nurturer. We are like the opposite ends of the spectrum. I will say though, Carly is helping me find my inner pioneer, and maybe I've helped her find her inner nurturer. I debated about saying this, but I'm gonna just say it. They're having time with mentees. They're like, is this good cop, bad cop? We have been accused of that because it's like some people come to me for certain things and they go to her for certain things, but as far as knowing that Carly was my person again, for me, I knew like when we met in Tennessee, we just created a bond at that time that I could see this going the distance. Like I knew from that point forward, like then like we were communicating all the time. Now, of course, it's probably more like several times a day. I'm pretty sure she's probably like, Amy, stop texting me. I'll get to you when I can. But of course I know that she has, still her obligation to her full-time job, but she, you could say like, some people we have sayings. Some people say you can be part-time, not part committed. I mean, Carly's running two full-time jobs. I don't know how this girl does it. Like I give you like huge props, my friend, because I have no idea how you do it. And so it's just incredible to just know that you, like she said, there's trust. We've also continually build our communication skills together. Like there were times like I could sense something's not right here. And I'm like, Carly, I think there's something going on. And so she's a thinker. I'm a feeler. So like I knew she couldn't tell me what it was she might have wanted to share with me because she had to find her way to the words that she wanted to say. Because I think she also thinks about, I don't want to hurt her feelings because she thinks of me as the nurturer. I will tell you, I'm a nurturer with thick skin. Okay, I can take it. And I think Miranda learned that right away. I always told Miranda, like, tell me like it is, because I can't learn and I can't grow if you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around me because you think I'm a nurturer. And like, I'm a nurturer in the giving sense, but I can take it. Like, bring it on. Tell me like it is, because that's how I'm going to learn and that's how I'm going to grow. And so, of course, now Carly understands, like, I'm like, come on, just bring it. Tell me. You know, we are in this together, and we don't always see eye to eye. We don't always have the same thoughts or opinions on things, but we consult. Like, if it's someone who is direct to her, I want her to take the lead. Like, it's about her and her building. She's building her agency, and those are her people. They might still be part of my team, but I want her to take lead. I want them to build that relationship with her. I'm going to help them, but I want her to take that lead. And it's always great that we can at least have those conversations and collaborations so that we know we're giving people the best of everything. Because we do have different thoughts and feelings and, you know, what we each would like to do and what's best. But if we don't communicate, then our relationship's going to struggle. And that's nothing I would ever want to happen. So I hope that answers your question.
No, you did. No, you absolutely did. And so Carly, I have actually a question for you. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm really focused on production. I'm also building, but you know, I'm just now starting there, and things are going very great. You know, I have a lot of support, but Carly is actually like the flip side of me, the exact opposite. She is building so much and with so much intensity. And it is, and so Carly, I have a question for you since I have you here. You know, with you running 2 full-time jobs, what are the priorities that you have to accomplish to implement what you need to for this change to happen? You know, what are the priorities you have whenever you were sitting down and focused on building?
Good question.
Yeah, this is a
You're
great question.
hired,
So,
Christopher, as the new.
Oh, thanks.
so I'm not sure if this is what should the answer be or what is the answer currently, right? So this is always its schedule is obviously the focus, right? And so I'm constantly battling with my schedule. I still on the building front, I'm absolutely focused on my overviews and on building the team. The team each day, we have them meeting in the office. So we bring everyone to what we call the Falvey office each day. So if they need help with risk assessments, if they need help with you know, any questions, whatever questions they have, we try to funnel everyone into the office hours so that we're not necessarily meeting with them one-on-one. And this way it's if we're helping each other, right? Because they might have questions that the other person doesn't know or doesn't think to ask. And so we're funneling them in so that they're all together as a team just because we're building that team environment, right? And so because if I tried to individually meet with 24 different individuals, right? I would never have enough time in the day, right? And even though I say I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? I still wouldn't have enough hours in the day if I was meeting with everybody individually. So trying to maximize that time, but also trying to give everybody an opportunity to learn from each other. So we funnel them into those office hours, right? That's been really helpful to help manage that piece. Still texting everyone individually, but also texting them in a mentor setting so that it's not just me texting with them, it's texting their entire upline in a group chat, right? But also focusing on my production. And so I have a license in every single time zone right now. And so I still do my dial sessions in the morning. I still, for golden hours, I still do my dial sessions in the evenings. I've tried to get really good at risk assessing so that I'm doing one call closes, right? I buy the most expensive leads that I possibly can because I want the least path of resistance to my clients, right? I don't have hours in the day to dial 50-cent leads. So I'm dialing A leads because I want to reach those clients at the absolute fastest point possible. And I do one call closes, and that's what I'm working. So that's where my focus is at. And I encourage everyone, because then I can help more families, right? If I'm working A-leads, I'm reaching more people faster. And so that's just going to help my production. And that's kind of where I leave it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm learning so much. I hope all of you guys are too. One of the questions that I have now is directly for you, Amy. And that is getting the most out of your team. I know because for anyone that doesn't know, I'm going to explain very quickly. Like Amy Falvey is the yin to my yang. Like we are very in sync, and we have to be. She has some super strong areas that are, some of my weak areas, but she's showing me how to get better in those areas every day. And so I have a tremendous amount of belief in me, first of all, Amy, and I just kind of wanted to say that in front of all these people, that, my belief is really strong in you. But how do you maximize the momentum that you're getting from your team? I'm seeing all of us communicate more, and I'm seeing this growth. Whenever I started, this was smaller, right? The change had just been implemented. It was very weird how the universe worked. It was like I came in and you and Carly had already just said, we're making a change. And I felt that culture immediately, but it wasn't always like how it is right now. And so what are some ways that you're really trying to maximize the growth of your team? Is it through the communication? Is it through what are you doing?
Yeah, and thank you for those kind words. A big part of it is in building up that culture as a team, and of course, working on Zoom all day together. I'm seeing a great camaraderie between all the people and like the sideline. So it's like, some people are direct to you, Christopher, some are direct to Carly. And, and then there's some people who are still direct to me and a couple of other builders. So it's seeing that camaraderie with everybody. And, it made my heart like so happy. Like one day I logged into the virtual office after an interview and I found like 6 people on the team in a random breakout room role playing with each other. They did that on their own. Nobody told them to do that. They just knew they needed to do that. And there were even people in there from some other team. I was like, hey, who are you? And so it's like he just saw them working together and said, I want in on that too. So it's seeing camaraderie amongst the team, and they're building those relationships independently, because honestly, I love you guys. I have the most amazing team. Thank you, Falvey Agency, like for all of the people who are my team right now. Like this is the best team that I've ever had. Like, for those who have been around a while, you've had teams and you've had teams. And so this team right now is the best group of people that I've ever had, because they all genuinely care about each other, and you can feel that and see that, and they're all there reaching out and helping each other, which is so great to see. So it's not that everyone relies on me or Carly or you. They work together, and that's what's so amazing. The other part of the growth of this team is more unique builders. So of course, one of the things that I heard at one of my breakout sessions, thank you to Jamie Susie, build a team leader machine, right? So in the last months, I just had Christopher, Carly, and Rasheen Allison break out as team leaders. Right now, we have 3 more people in their run for their team leader. We have people building straight out of licensing right from the start. So the growth is happening right away. People are seeing what it means to build a team, and people aren't waiting till they figure this out. So the growth is happening in that multiplication factor, because so many more people straight away want to be building, and they want to see that vision for a team.
I love it. And just for those of you that are new on the call, team leader means your team issues 10 grand. So that's about 10 apps, right? On average. And you've got you and 2 other writers on your team that are direct to you. So they've got a couple of people and they're putting together 10 apps, and you just multiply that, right? And so proud of you guys. This is just, it's a pleasure to watch. And I see you just, the momentum is just getting started, because there's so much of the right things happening. Right. And the work, like we said, it's interesting when you see a pop, because the pop didn't happen from what you just did now. It's what you did like 6-9 months ago, and continue to do, and continue to show up on a daily basis. Right. Like, and it's not just the business, it's you guys. right? It's the commitment to your schedule. Like Carly said, unyielding, relentless, and uncompromising with her schedule, right? Like these are the things that you guys are, the person that you are and the people that you're becoming is why this happens. So many people, they want to look for what is this big secret? What is the magic? It starts with the growth, right? Because we are a personal development company that happens to sell insurance, not the other way around. And if that doesn't work, let us know. Such a good call, guys. I look forward to traveling the world with you and seeing you back at Marshall's in the summer and all the things. But yes, we're just getting started. Right? So I love it. Any final words, you guys? We got about 60 seconds left.
Just super blessed and grateful for this opportunity to be here. Thank you, Miranda, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't all be here today. So thank you. And just so blessed to have you as my mentor and just so excited for the growth of this team and being in business with such amazing people.
I love it. And Amy, this was a quote from you. She said, "Bring it on." That was awesome. All right, guys, let's have a great rest of the day. Let's rock it out.
Thank you.